Welcome back to the Writer Guy. Today I'm going to go over beta readers and why you may need one and where you can find one. Uh, I've been reading a couple books lately, and I'm not going to give the title of the book because, you know, uh, I don't gossip. So I don't want to give the name of a book that I read that was terrible because, that book doesn't need my help to suck. But what I will say is this. Um, when a lot of these authors have YouTube channels, and you'll watch the YouTube channel, and they'll say, "Oh well, I gave the book to my mom for as a beta reader. I gave the book to my sister as a beta reader. I gave the book to my girlfriend as a beta reader, and they said it was fantastic." uh, Bad idea. Um, do never use your mother as a beta reader. Uh, Her inclination to protect you is going to far supersede the information that you need to know. Rule number one to being an author: do not let your mother be a beta reader. Now, obviously, what a beta reader is it's a reader you give your draft, your final draft to. In other words, you've had your manuscript edited, and you want to see how people will react to it without getting it out there into the world. So, in other words, it's really the last line of defense. Are there glaring grammatical errors? Um, could the story be improved? Is it too long? Is the story too short? These are the things that a beta reader will pick up on. And where I suggest finding a beta reader is Fiverr. Fiverr, if you don't know what that is, I'm not being paid by Fiverr, but it's basically a website where you can find subcontracted artists and those kind of people. So, art like painters and musicians and beta readers. So we'll go to Fiverr.com, and what we're going to do is we're going to type in beta reader. I'm from Boston, so sometimes I mispronounce words. Anyway, all right, beta reader. And it's going to ask me to sign in, but I'm not going to sign in. Anyway, now you'll find a whole list of beta readers, and you'll see how many times they've beta read a book. So, for instance, this woman here, Rick Bree, she seems to be a Fiverr's choice, which is a very good person on this site. In terms of getting work done. So you click on her page. She's a 5 star. That's incredible. I mean, that's a great number. She's a 5 star. She's reviewed 120 books, and she has 9 orders in the queue. So you're going to be there for a while. But $100, $100, and she'll give you a one-page report up to 70,000 words, and she'll go on to tell you. How does the writing make me feel? Is the pacing too fast or too slow? Does the dialogue seem natural? These are the things that a trained beta reader will pick up on. Um, and don't waste your time with sending books out to friends or to people that you've met, before in the reading world. So like editors and stuff. Don't do that because a lot of times you'll send a book out or you'll email them a ebook and they'll never read it. And they'll read half of it and they won't read the other half, and you're sitting there waiting for this information to come back to you, and they're like off in the Bahamas or something, or who knows, farting in the bathtub. So do not send your book beta book, the book after you have the book edited, you have a final draft. Do not send that draft to any of your friends, your mother, and again, any acquaintances in the writing industry. Um, pay somebody who says I do this for a living, and they have the credentials and they have the reviews, and that's why I use Fiverr, because Fiverr has a system to where you can see how many times they reviewed, and then you can even go to, for instance, you know, here's a review of a beta reader. Okay, a meaning that the person has sent their book to this person. they've beta read it, gave the report back, and now this is the author giving a review of the beta reader. And she goes on to say, amazing. She read 86,000 words in 18 days and delivered what I had been dying to know for 10 years. Okay? So that's the job of a beta reader. Take your book, read it, and let you know how she feels or he feels in compared to other books that they have read. And that's their job. That's not the job of your mama. That's not the job of your sister. That's not the job of your a-hole brother. Even though your a-hole brother will probably be a little more honest than your mother, that's not their job. This is someone's job. You can do a standard even up to 40. Well, it depends how many words. So standards up to 40,000. But if you have up to 70,000 and over, you got to pay $100. But as is just one person. Like, let me go to another person. So, um, no, I typically prefer pro services, people that they've actually pro services or people that they've actually vetted more deeply than just regular, uh, subcontractors on the website. So, for instance, we have a woman here, $100, but she only has two. Okay, here we go. Here's another one, another $100 one. Uh, she'll tell you the reliability of your manuscript, her opinion as a reader, positive and negatives, and she'll go on, to talk about subsequent discussion of your manuscript. So in other words, she'll explain to you weaknesses, strengths, those kind of things. So I highly recommend using a service like this because, you know, using your family is just not going to cut it. And like I said, do not spend a year or two writing a book, send it out to people that you know, and have them not read it and then make you feel like crap. You know, it's happened to me. I have people in the writing world, editors and such, and or people just that just read a lot of books, and I've sent out like at least 20 hard copies of one of my books and probably 50, soft copies in terms of ebooks of varying different books of mine, and maybe I've had three people review, and maybe I just have bad friends, or maybe I just don't know the right people. But don't put yourself through that. It's very disheartening, and as an author, we're already at, especially nowadays in 2021, we're already facing into the wind. So the more help you can get, and the quicker you can get it, the more you're able to then get the feedback and get the the feedback loop, as I call it. And a beta reader will help you correct your book if it needs to be corrected. Remember, they are the last line of defense. You don't want to be an author who puts 2 years into a book, spends $2,000 on editing a book, and then puts the book out there and it's subpar and everybody sees your name and then they read your book and they say, I ain't buying one of her books again. I ain't spend no $10 on her book. That book sucked. So don't be that person. Anyway, I hope you enjoyed today's episode, and come back to join us when you get a chance.